Students, welcome back. Today we'll discuss again your chapter number 4, Political Science Electoral Politics. In today's lecture, we'll discuss now the last part of your chapter, what makes Indian elections democratic. Further, we will discuss the challenges to free and fair elections at the last page. What makes Indian elections democratic? There are many things which make Indian elections democratic and are responsible for conducting free and fair elections. First of all is the Independent Election Commission. In India, the elections at all the levels are conducted by Election Commission. It is an independent body like judiciary in India, which has no pressures of political people, political leaders, economically strong people, no influences on it. Election Commission exercises its powers independently. Election Commission works under the guidance of the Chief Election Commissioner, CEC. It is called the Chief Election Commissioner. That person is appointed by the President of India. But once he is appointed by the President, even President cannot control him, cannot influence him. Nor even neither the President nor even the government can influence the decisions of the Election Commission or Chief Election Commissioner. So it is very difficult to remove Chief Election Commissioner like the judges of our Supreme Court. So this is totally independent body, Election Commission, which conducts elections in India at all the levels. Everything about the elections is decided by Election Commission, like the dates of the elections and the candidates qualifications which will be declared by the Election Commission, the people who will be put on the duty for the elections at different levels, how the elections will be conducted. Everything is decided by the Election Commission. Next is the popular participation. Popular participation of people in the elections. In which country there are people not interested in casting their vote or polling their vote in the elections, those elections are not democratic. In India, the people are participating in elections actively. Even year by year, their participation is increasing. Day by day, when the people are becoming educated and aware about the political matters, political issues, so when they want the solution through the government, through their representatives in the election, so they actively take part in elections. This is now the second point which makes Indian elections democratic, the active participation of people in the elections. In even the rural areas where people are uneducated or illiterate or not much aware about the political issues, political problems, political people, even there in those areas, people cast their vote in large numbers in India. The percentage of voting is very high in India. Third one which make Indian elections democratic is the acceptance of the election outcome. What is outcome is the result of elections. After casting the vote, when the people choose their representatives, that is acceptable to all. Elections result. Outcome means result. Whatever is the result of the elections, that is accepted by all the parties, all the candidates positively. There can be many people, MPs or the MLAs, who are now in the power, but in elections they can lose the power, they can lose the elections. They also very positively accept the results. There is no domination of any party, no domination of the people who are politically or economically powerful. So the results of elections or the election outcome is accepted by all equally without any questions. The next topic of your chapter is challenges. What are the difficulties to conduct a free and fair elections in India? As you know, India is a very large country. Millions of people with different cultures, traditions and communities or religions live in India. So it is not very easy to conduct a free and fair elections in the country. So there are some challenges, some difficulties to the free and fair elections. Free and fair elections are those elections, as you have already discussed, where the people have equal chance to cast their vote, equal chance to choose their representatives, and without any corruption the elections are held, conducted, and people very uh, freely without any pressure choose their representatives which form the government. But there are still some challenges. Which are those challenges? Number one, majority groups domination. As you know, always a few people who are less in number, they are always suffering because of the domination of those people who are in majority. Minority communities always suffer because of the majority communities domination. In India also, there are some people, the particular groups, you can say socially strong, economically strong, those people always try to get the power with you can say the hook or crook or the unfair means. So those people always dominate in the politics and in elections. They always try to influence the elections results also in their favor. Next is loss to smaller parties. Some parties in India are the local parties limited to some states only, and some parties are the national parties. National parties are big in number, large people are large people have joined the parties. So those people also who are less in number, limited to smaller parties, limited to a few states only, or their one state only, the one state level party or the local party, that is also always at loss in the elections, because national parties or the big parties always try to pressurize the smaller parties at the local level. The third challenge to the free and fair elections is spending more money. Many parties who are working at the national level are the big parties. They have more sources, more funds, more money. So they can spend more money in the elections to influence people or to convince people to cast vote in their favor, which is a form of the corruption, another form of the corruption you can see. So use of money in the elections when it is exceeding the permissible amount to be used as in the campaign for the elections is used. Extra money is used to convince the people, to buy the votes, you can say indirectly. That is also a challenge to the free and fair elections. So nowadays many social activists and the political activists, they are demanding now reforms in our electoral system of India. Thank you.